Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host, sorry. I'm walking my dog as well. I'm Desmond. Thank you for tuning in. Want to talk about three topics, two teams. First and foremost, the Baltimore Ravens. Your season is over. If you're on YouTube and listen to sports, there's a guy, Uncle Lou, on YouTube, which he's got a hilarious show. He's great, Georgia fan, but he talks college football. But he does a segment every week called Your Season is Over. It's absolutely over for the Ravens. Number one, you're 1-3, which the numbers in that, with that type of record, I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. The stats with that record is just awful as far as trying to make the playoffs. Now, one thing that benefits them is Joe Burrow is out for an extended amount of time, which means the Bengals are going to be pretty bad. But the Steelers look better than what I thought they would. And you also are going to play the Cleveland Browns, which I get it. They're not a great team, but they are a pretty good defense. And the Browns play the Ravens tough even when Lamar is there. Lamar, it looks like, is going to be out 2 games. So it was an odd report. The report was Lamar's going to try to give it a go this week, but if he can't go, he'll be out for like 2 games. And I'm like, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. What I'm taking this as is a little bit of showmanship and gamesmanship, which is what teams do a lot. They do their best not to disclose things and, try to make their opponents have to prepare for, multiple different quarterbacks. So I want you to prepare for not only Lamar, but also Cooper Rush, and also Snoop Huntley as well, because I think he's on the practice squad for them. But essentially what I think is going to happen, I think Lamar's going to miss at least 2 games and possibly more than that. And the issue is you were 1-3 with Lamar Jackson on the field. So what the heck are you going to be with him off the field? I think the Ravens season's over. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs. It's just bad, and the absolute last thing that I want to hear about is injuries for the Ravens, because the team that I'm a fan of, the Detroit Lions, had injuries galore, and there was no excuses made for the Lions at all. Now, I get it. Jared had a bit of a rough playoff game, but you just got to get through it. Like that, everyone has injuries. Everyone. So it's not an excuse that, these couple guys are hurt, blah, blah, blah. These 5 guys are hurt. I don't care. It's the NFL. It's 100% injury rate. Everybody gets hurt. Same thing with Kansas City. It's, Rashee Rice, when he comes back and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That's not how everybody has guys who get hurt. Everybody has guys who misses time. It is what it is. You got to mitigate it. You got to battle through it. But yeah, I don't know why the defense is as bad as it is, but it just is. So we'll see what happens there, but I think their season is over. The other team I want to talk about is the San Francisco 49ers. I think their season is over. It's not as immediate. I think it'll be a bit of a slow death. But more so, I think what needs to be talked about with the 49ers is, number one, their practice habits, and number 2, their medical staff. And the reason I say that is you cannot tell me that, like I just said, it's 100% injury rate in the NFL. Everybody gets hurt. It happens. It's just a physical, violent game. It happens. But there are some teams that are injured more often than other teams. Like, even for the Lions, last year was rough with the injuries. But in general, they've been a pretty healthy team. They got a couple guys banged up now, but like I said, it just kind of happens. Injuries, they do happen, all the time. But there are some teams that are injured more often than other teams. And the San Francisco 49ers are one of those teams that consistently has guys hurt. Brock Purdy is out now. I think he had either a toe or ankle injury. Christian McCaffrey missed basically all of last year. George Kittle consistently misses, anywhere from 3 to 4 games a year. They got running backs going in and out consistently. Guys are always hurt. Now, the one superstar that never gets hurt seemingly is Fred Warner. Never injured. I don't know how that works, but and I don't know if they're too physical in practice, not physical enough in practice, because there is that train of thought of if you never ramp up that intensity during the week, then it's hard for your body to adjust for just having that intensity once a week. It's like if you're lifting weights and lifting heavy just once a week. Well, if you're trying to really build that up, you need to lift heavy multiple times a week. And I'm not sure what it is. And it's odd for their location. They're out in, near Stanford. You got just a campus full of smart people walking around. And how can they not get this figured out? And for Kyle, and I mentioned this over the summer, I did my, I don't think I had McCaffrey in my top 5 running backs, but I had talked about Christian McCaffrey and that basically I think his worst enemy or his biggest issue might be his play caller in Kyle Shanahan. Because for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan seems to think that Christian McCaffrey is the only running back on his team and that he has to have every single carry known to man for the 49ers. It's like, Kyle, it's okay to have a backup running back. I think they let Mason walk, but you've got to have someone who can just have 5 carries in a game. I'm sure you have that guy on the roster. And if you don't have him at backup running back, give it to Kyle Juszczyk. He can run the ball. He's an athletic dude. Kyle is going to be the undoing of Christian McCaffrey as a 49er. And I get it. He had a MVP season, 2 years ago. I understand that 100%. But for Kyle, you also have to understand, too, when a guy gets that many touches, it usually has a compounding effect. We saw it with Zeke Elliott, right? He had a ton of carries that one year. We saw it with DeMarco Murray a little bit earlier and further back in history. I mean, really, Adrian Peterson's the only one that didn't impact him and Derrick Henry. Everyone else, when they get a monster carry season like that with touches, it has a compounding effect. And Kyle Shanahan doesn't seem to understand that. Sorry, I had to call the pup back. But Kyle seems to be the only one who doesn't understand that. And it's just not it. I could see an injury coming for McCaffrey just based on the workload. It's just too heavy. The last thing I want to mention is the NFL needs to bump up the active roster number. I think I've mentioned this before. I mentioned this before on an earlier podcast, but I think the number needs to be like 60, 65. We're just seeing the injuries we're seeing, especially at the O-line spot. The guys are practicing less. Training camps are the double days are gone. You just need more bodies. And I think the NFL needs to bump up that number. So that is it for me. Appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. That's it for me. Peace.